There's a growing consensus that the seemingly rampant bloodshed on our streets is largely the result of gang violence. It's an epidemic the country must move swiftly and deliberately to tackle head-on. Corval Pyfrom has a closer look at the gang culture.
These gangs, and according to government crime consultant Carlos Reid, there are many of them. They are actively recruiting new members. Their membership is growing, and their impact causes shockwaves and pain throughout the entire country. Just how pervasive are these gangs? Reid believes their reach is significant.
A growing feud. Particularly among the gangs. Even in our prisons, the gangs really control our prison. When I say that, a person, when they go to prison now, they are asked, who you riding with? What's your gang affiliation? So they do that because they don't want to put you in some place that could be detrimental to you.
Reid seems almost certain that most of the killings occurring on our streets are either directly or indirectly related to this gang activity. His theory gaining credence as even the Prime Minister has now declared a whole government approach to taking back our streets from these criminal elements. Reid hopes that rather than completely disbanding them, these gangs can be spawned into something positive.
Our goal now is to take some of these gangs and turn them around where they're doing positive things, not to be able to dismember the gangs, but to be able to challenge their intellectual capacity where they could see that maybe in some of these gangs, there are businesses, there are companies that are in these gangs. So how do we empower these persons to empower their communities?
Carlos Reid himself once rode on the outskirts of the law and is well familiar with the gang culture and says that many young men are drawn to these groups out of a desire to belong. Many, he says, feel neglected and abandoned by their own families and turn to these groups for acceptance. Compounding the situation even more is their inability to resolve conflicts and properly deal with their anger.
A goal is to make sure that these two subjects are implemented inside our curriculum in our schools. We need to now be mandated or have our system mandated where we are teaching conflict resolution, where we think about anger management.
Prime Minister Davis on Sunday put gangs on notice that they will be aggressively sought after. He also called on police to engage more with communities to reduce gang recruitment as well as youth involvement in crime. A more detailed approach on the government's plan to deal with this issue, the Prime Minister says, will be laid out in the coming weeks. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfrom.
Hello, everyone. I'm Fern Carey. Thank you for watching our YouTube page. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for all things Z&S.